The last time I took this boat, I was hanging over on the edge of the boat and just puking like an idiot. I was maybe 10 or 12 years, and I played in a brass band, and I was on my way to Utsira to play a concert. This time around, I'm a bit older, not mentally, but physically, and I'm on my way to the same island. Norway's smallest municipality. Around 205 people live on this island, and I've rented a small cottage there, so I'm gonna spend the night and I'm gonna document sunset, sunrise and everything in between, and maybe see some birds along the way, because Utsira is world famous for its bird life. It has been observed around 326 different kinds of species. This has to be a place for my friend Trond Vestby. Many of you probably know him. He's a bird photographer from Stavanger, pretty close to me, and you can check out his channel right here. So next time, Trond, you have to come with me and we'll photograph some birds.
There's absolutely no wind, and that, I think, is very rare. Isn't this neat? These tiny cottages is an art project called 𝐔𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐿, which is basically tiny cottages in English. And I've rented this one because this one has a bed in it, and that cottage, it's open all year. You can come here with a cup of coffee, you can sit and write and just look at the beautiful view. But this pink one you can rent for an evening or two, and I've done that. The goal with this art project is to bring the humans closer into nature. It's just thin walls and a glass and a gorgeous view over the sunset, because the sun is setting right here. So this is a perfect spot for that, and I'm really looking forward to spend the night here. It's designed by an artist called 𝐔𝐒𝐿Be, and the architect behind it is called 𝐵𝐻𝐻𝐿. And if that wasn't enough, just look at the location, because here is the lighthouse, the beautiful lighthouse at Utsira, and I'm planning an image of it because it's a full moon, almost a full moon this evening, and I'm gonna go find a decent spot, and when nighttime comes and the lighthouse ignites, so to speak, I'm gonna take an image of the lighthouse, or try to, with the moon. So I'm looking forward to see if I can get that image. All right, this is all good. This is all good. Let's get to work. The plan now, before I need to have dinner, is to walk what is known as Nordsjøløypa. It runs along the western coast of Utsira. I'm not a local expert, to put it like that, because I've only been to Utsira once, so everything here is new for me. And when I just saw these beautiful tall straws, I just had to stop and have a closer look. So I've stopped here and I'm gonna see if there's an image. If I find an image, I'll take it. If not, I'm gonna continue walking, because I need to explore, because I want to find a suitable place for the sunset, because I have high hopes for this evening's sunset. I think I found a composition. If you can see behind me, there's some mountains behind the straws. You see where it goes a bit down. I'm trying to mimic that line using the straws. So I found a position, and I'm using the prime lens 45mm from Olympus, wide open f1.2, and I've put the focus on those straws I really want to highlight, and the rest of the straws and the mountain gets blurry. And part of me really likes this, and part of me feels like something's missing, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just hungry. All right, let's put the focus, and there we go. First image of the day. All right, let's. We're burning daylight here, so let's head out. I've spent maybe 40 minutes there just wandering around. You see that mountain over there? That's where we were a minute ago. And right now I've moved down into the shadow side of the island, and I'm gonna move around and back into the sun on the west coast here. And I'm gonna try to find a suitable composition for my sunset image. And what I'm looking for then, right now I'm thinking seascape, and I'm looking for a place with character, or I'm looking for a main subject with character. It could be a rock, it could be a tree, it could be just a place where the waves just crash in an interesting way, and it could be a place where the light falls in an interesting way. It could be a lot of things. But when I see a scene that draws me in, that piques my interest, there's usually something about it. And what you need to do then as a photographer is to try to identify that little thing that piques your interest and focus on that and enhance it, and try to tell other people with your image why this is an image worth looking at. I find it very rewarding to try and think that way, because when you do decide to take an image, there's usually a lot of thought behind it, and a lot of thought is never a bad thing. So there you have it, some words of wisdom. Before I got out here, I read on the internet that Utsira is approximately 6 square kilometers wide. And although that's pretty large, I didn't necessarily think it would be this large. It gives me a huge playground to explore. And I'm starting to realize that 1.5 days here is not nearly enough to explore everything. It's approximately 1 hour to sunset now, and I haven't found my composition just yet. I found a few spots that are interesting, but they're a bit too cluttered, and to be honest, they didn't make a whole lot of sense. They were just almost.
So the scenery right now is definitely changing, and I haven't found my composition just yet, I'm afraid. But it's really, really beautiful everywhere I go, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I hope, famous last words and so forth. This is gorgeous. Definitely a lot of potential around. I just need to find one spot. But I won't stress, I'm not too worried. If it happens, it happens. All right. So I'm approaching the end, I think. I need to find something fast. I can't go any further, I think. If I go any further, I'm gonna lose the light. So what I did, I set up here because I saw these beautiful rays coming through the clouds, and I opted for a panorama. And I tried to keep the panorama really, really simple, because I like clean images. At least I like the clean images today. So I'm trying to keep water on the right side, water on the left side, and water underneath. No mainland, and I know water over, and then the sunset. So that's my composition. And I level up my tripod. That's really important when you're taking a panorama. And I'm doing a 4-image panorama. And then I stitch everything together in Lightroom afterwards. I almost lost the light. Right now the sun has gone behind a bank of clouds and I almost lost it. And this was kind of a bit of a lesson to myself, I think, because I was walking and walking and walking, trying to find an interesting composition, trying to find a cool rock or a cool pattern in the stone, and I couldn't find anything. And I almost lost the beautiful light because I never considered the light is enough. This was a lesson to myself. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Alright, I was out yet again trying to photograph the moon behind the lighthouse. I got into position, a very good position actually. I was pretty pleased with the composition. Unfortunately, the moon is now too high on the sky. I couldn't see it because of thick clouds, but when it peeked out, it was too high. So I have to wait until tomorrow morning to see if I can get the image. Alright, have a good night and I'll speak to you tomorrow morning. Good morning, good morning.
The clock is now officially 8:15. It's about an hour to sunrise, and I slept like a baby. It was not so cold as I feared. I have a pretty good sleeping bag, so I didn't freeze at all. And it was just very nice sitting on the porch here and looking at the moon before I went to bed, and sleeping and hearing the rain whip against the windows and hear the wind picking up speed. Yeah, that's right. The weather is taking a bit turn for the worse, but nothing spectacular. I'm gonna head up and see if I can find a vantage point to take the sunset. But first, I'm gonna have some breakfast and some coffee. I picked this location yesterday evening, and it was a bit more darker than it is now. And now that I'm here and it's a bit brighter, I can see that it's not working as well as I'd hoped. So what I'm gonna do, it's 30 minutes to sunset. I'm gonna go to that hill over there and set up. It's gonna be short on time, but to be honest, I don't think it will be much of a sunrise today. I think it will be hidden behind that bank of clouds, but you never know. I've been known to be lucky, so who knows. All right, let's go over there. Each time before I go on a trip to a place I haven't been before, the first thing I do is to look up online a map of the area, and then I dot in where the sun will rise, where the sun will set, where the moon will rise and set if there is a moon. It's not always there's a moon, and also the time of the day when that's supposed to happen. That gives me a general idea of which area to be in. That gives me the best light 2 times a day, and the rest of the day I just spend looking for interesting locations to make use for when the light is good. So before I got to Utsira, I kind of knew, even though I haven't been there before, that this little hill here gives me a beautiful overlook over one of the main settlements of the island. This is Sørvågen, and you have Klovning down here. This is one of the 2 spots the boat comes in. The other is on the other side of the island. And I really wanted the image of the settlement, and now I'm just waiting to see if there will be light. I've already done one panorama where I've just kind of embraced the grey, as they say. There's almost no separation between the horizon and the sea. Everything is grey. The sea has the wind has whipped up a lot of rainy parts, so it's a kind of a humid air. So I did that panorama, and I'm very pleased with it. So what I'm hoping for now is, of course, a break in the clouds that will give us a beautiful morning light, and I can show you the difference between light and no light. But we'll see. It's a beautiful morning anyway. Look at that beautiful light over there. I had just packed down my camera, and I just had to pack it up again because suddenly the light came through the clouds again. And I'm hoping it's gonna get a bit bigger because it's not terribly huge right now. But I did one panorama with the light stripe in the horizon, and I'm curious to see how that came out. I do not feel completely done with this island, although my time out here for now has come to an end. I was thinking yesterday evening out on the porch and just looking at the moon, just lighten up the whole landscape, and I had made myself some coffee and just sat and looked for a couple of hours and just felt really calm. And it's been a really good trip. Definitely cause to come back, because I have only explored one part of the island, and there's a lot more to explore. And of course you have the lighthouse with the moon image that I really want to take, but unfortunately I didn't get this time. So there's reason to come back. Loads of reasons. Anywho, thank you so much for watching this little video. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more, you can consider hitting subscribe and that little bell icon so you get notified when I do a new upload. Also, find me on Instagram if you want, and yeah, if you have any suggestions or you want to give some feedback, just leave it in the comment section down below. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of each other, og ha det fint!